Hello everyone, this is Adnan with another video on AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate 2020 certification. In this video, we are going to talk about database services. Database services in AWS. So basically, database plays a very important role in functioning of an application. Also, performance of an application is directly depend on how the underlying database performs for the application. AWS database services set of databases offered by AWS on the cloud. So mainly there are these four services, database services available. Number one, Amazon RDS, which is a relational database system. Second one, Amazon Aurora, and Amazon DynamoDB, and Amazon Elastic Cache. So these four services, basically these are the main four services. So first, the main difference you need to remember, these are all databases. So database mainly is of two types: structured database, a database that stores structured information, and the database that stores non-structured information. So structured information is stored in RDS, whereas non-structured information is stored in DynamoDB. And structured information is mostly referred to as SQL database. Non-structured is referred to as non-SQL database. So the people who are working with database, people who are familiar with databases, it's really easy for them to understand what is SQL and non-SQL databases. We on the cloud side, our main responsibility on the cloud side is basically to provision databases for DBAs or application architects, or database architects, or DBAs, database administrators. As they request cloud admins to create a database, we would need to create a database for them. So there are two main things here. Number one, Amazon DynamoDB and Amazon RDS. So these are the two main types of databases. One is a relational database system. The other one is non-SQL or NoSQL DynamoDB, which stores non-structured information. So what is the difference between structured and non-structured information? Structured information is tabular form of data that is stored in RDS, whereas in DynamoDB all types of data can be stored in DynamoDB. So example is in DynamoDB, basically you can store information like pictures, comments, videos. So the example of DynamoDB, the data, that type of data that is stored in DynamoDB is social media, websites, comments. So if you go to Facebook and you see a lot of comments from or posts on Facebook, the post, when people post something, they are posting not only text, but they are posting pictures, videos, and everything, and there is no symmetry in that data. That is non-structured data. And same goes for Instagram. When people post something on Instagram, it can be anything within that post. So that type of data is stored in here. So what is the example of RDS? Example of RDS is employee record in a company, or maybe student record in a college. So where you have first name, last name, address, phone number, their class, their and other information, it's all symmetrical. So student information, complete information, patient information in hospital, that type of data is known as structured data and stored in RDS. So what is Amazon Aurora? Amazon Aurora is basically same as RDS, relational database system, but it is proprietary database product of Amazon. So here you will buy it. It will be cheaper as compared to RDS, other type of databases. In the other slide, I will show you what other type of databases are available. So basically, Amazon Aurora is a database that is a proprietary product from Amazon, whereas Amazon Elastic Cache is basically a temporary memory that is reserved, that is used when databases are connected to applications. So I will go into more detail in another video. So in this video, I'm going to go into more detail about RDS. So RDS is a Amazon relational database system, as we already said. said, it is used for structured data, makes it easy to set up, operate, and scale relational databases in cloud. And there are all these different type of databases that can be configured in Amazon. You can configure Amazon Aurora, MariaDB, PostgreSQL, SQL Server from Microsoft, MySQL, and Oracle databases. If the application that is migrating to Amazon, and it is any one of these databases, that can all be hosted inside RDS. So among all these databases, the most famous database is Microsoft SQL, Microsoft SQL, or Microsoft SQL, and Oracle. Oracle is very expensive, whereas these are all enterprise type of databases. In this video, so we are going to create a database from MySQL, and I will show you how to create a database from SQL as well, and then we'll connect to those databases. So again, one more time, RDS is it stores structured information, employee record information. It also stores it stores like the data that is stored in this database is in tabular form, like employee data, students data, patient data in hospitals. So that type of data. So one more time here, before we can jump onto the lab and make the database, I just wanted to, so RDS stands for relational database service, number one. Number two, it stores structured data, and structured data is basically referred to as tabular form of data, so in which we have tables and rows of information. So here we have let's say name, here we have address, here we have phone number, and all that data is stored. So let's say Ali, and here the address is, let's say, US, and phone number is 123, and then we have Mark, and address is Canada, and 456. So this type of data is stored is called as relational database system. This is a very simple example, and the two main type of databases that are widely used is Microsoft SQL or Oracle, and Amazon Aurora. Just remember, it is it is a relational database system, but it is mainly proprietary product of Amazon. So they made their own. If companies are interested and they cannot go for Microsoft SQL or Oracle because they are licensed product, companies need to buy extra license from them, they can also adopt this database as well. So with this, let's jump into the lab, and what we're going to do is we are going to use an EC2 instance. From EC2 instance, we will connect to the database, but before that, I will create a database. So the database that I'm going to create is, first of all, we can create MySQL database or Microsoft SQL database. So based on this diagram, we are going to create MySQL database. Once the database is created, then we are going to connect from EC2 instance to MySQL database. Now, in order to connect to the database, we will create a database, but in order to connect to a database, we will download a product that I'm going to share with you, so that you can download that product and you can log into the database. So let's now jump into the lab. So all I need to do is, I'm already logged in. I have all these machines ready. I have Windows Server, Linux Server. I have two Windows Server and Linux Server. So in order to create a database first, before we can log in, I'm going to go to database section here. So I'm going to go to databases, and the first database that we are going to create is called RDS. And within RDS, once we go there, it will provide us different options of databases. So here we are going to create a database. Once you create a database, it gives you two options here, standard or create. Easy. If you select easy, it will select a lot of things for you. So there is not much flexibility here. It gives you less option, and it will let you choose just key options. But in our case, we are going to go with the standard create option. So in this here, you can select many type of different databases. You can create a Amazon Aurora database, MySQL database, MariaDB database, Postgres database, SQL, or Oracle, or Microsoft SQL. So in this case, we are going to create, based on our architecture, we are going to create MySQL database, and here it is the version of the database. Now, where would you get the version of this database? You can, it is based on an application. It is based on the application development team, what database and version they prefer. So you can get that version from them. There are different databases. In our case, we're going to go with the default. Here, what type of environment do you need it for? So for now, you can go with production, test dev. I'm going to go with free tier for this database instance. There is not much difference here in terms of the structure of the database. It will be exactly the same. It's just the performance and how fast instance or will be attached to this database. Obviously, it's a database. It will be hosted on an instance in the backend. We won't be managing that EC2 instance, but it will be hosted in one of the EC2 instance. So I'm going to go with free tier, so it will be whatever instance that it is attached to. This will be that is free tier eligible. Secondly, here you need to provide a database instance name. So here I'm gonna say this is demo database instance. Now demo database instance, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy that on a text file. So why do we need to copy that in the text file? It is because when you make a connection, you are going to use these names. You can get these names from the properties as well, but it is easier for me to keep them in a log file. Normally I do log everything on a separate file so that it is easier to just find it in my own notes instead of going into the properties of the database or the service. In the database side, on the credentials here, this will be the admin password, admin account name. So I'm gonna call this root. And the password. So what I will do, I will record this information as well in our text file. Okay, so this is the instance. This is the instance where the database will be hosted. It's not the database name, and in the instance here, you don't need to manage this instance. This will be automatically managed by Amazon in the backend. So here, this is the database size. Database size. Since we selected a free tier, that is why it's we will have to select. We'll have to include previous generations. So if you include this will be T2 micro for the free tier. If I would have selected production here, then I would have had more options here. I can select any options from here. So this is why I said that in the beginning that the only difference between these is the type of instance that you will select when you create a database. So I'm gonna go with the free tier in our case. And it will be T2 micro. The database storage will be, I'll leave it to SSD and 20 GB storage. It will be set to auto scaling as soon as it reaches this threshold of 20 GB. In our case, it will never reach this, but this threshold. But let's say you're building this for your test environment, and if ever it reaches 20 GB, it will increase it by this number. You can set it to 10 GB. Here minimum is 21 GB, so it can start increasing this 20 to 1000 GB. So I'll leave this as is. And here, do you need a multi-AZ support? This is only available in the production usage. Production usage meaning that this database will be so there will be a standby instance in another zone if you need high availability for this. So we're going to leave it as is. For the network connectivity, we're going to leave everything as is, the same VPC. And here, yes, we need to do one thing, that I need to enable public access, and this is very important that you do it here at this point, because later on you won't be able to change this from the console. So make sure when you're creating a database, enable the public access from here. Other than that, security group, the default is, and this port needs to be open from the EC2 instance where you are connecting to the database. So two things are important here. Number one, public access. Number two, note down this port, so that you need to open this port when you're connecting this from the EC2 instance, EC2 instance, or from your own desktop from here where you're connected to the console. Database authentication will be password authentication, which means that remember that we set up the password in the beginning, which is this one, root and password. So that password is used. Otherwise, you have a second option as well. You can use also, you can create an IMA account and set that password, or you can also, if you have Active Directory, then you can use Active Directory authentication as well. For now, we're just going to use the same password that we selected in the beginning. In here, now you can provide a database name. So let's say this database is for demo student information. So this is demo pass institute DB. So this is for our pass institute, and it's a DB, and inside the DB we will create the student table and all other type of tables. So this is the name of the database, and I'm going to store that into, and you will see that this all information will be used later on. So DB name is this, and here we don't need a backup. If so I can disable the backup. Even if you disable the backup, we switch it on, because here it's saying the retention period is 7 days. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it to 0, because what happens is that if I don't put it to 0 and it is selected 7 days, and even if you disable this, once you go into the configuration, it will be automatically enabled, because here the 7 days are selected. So I'm gonna put it to 0 days of backup and disable this. Monitoring, we don't need monitoring at the moment. Log export, we don't need log exports. IMA role we're not using. Maintenance at the moment is enabled, and we can select a maintenance window. In the maintenance, what happens is database automatically maintains itself. All the databases automatically maintain itself. Here we just need to set up a window at what time the database should do its own pending modification, where it runs the stored procedures and it runs the database. So here you can set it up let's say 1 a.m. So it is 1 a.m. and it will run for half an hour. Here you can protect it against accidental deletion. So we're not gonna select that. Rest is right here. The pricing in this estimated cost of the month, and this is giving us based on the free tier. If you would have selected a production database, then these pricing would have been different. So we are going to create this database. So once it is created, so it will be right here, it is creating this database. Now in the meantime, let's see how do we connect to this database. Now while this is being made, let's go back here and see. So we created this MySQL database. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go into EC2 instance, and we're gonna install we are going to install a software with which we can connect to MySQL, and that software is MySQL Workbench. So it is MySQL Workbench. So this software, once we download this software, from this software we will provide the DB name, and we will provide the username from where we need to select, and the password. So what it does, it will connect to the database, but while it connects to the database, we need to make sure that on this EC2 instance that port for the database, MySQL port, should be open. I think it was 3360, and we can check that out. So so whatever the port is. And basically it's really easy to enable the port on the security group. So where would you need to enable the port? The security groups that is attached to this EC. So here we'll open the port, we install the software, open the port and connect to the DB. So let me quickly, the video is getting over 20 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go here within. So database is still being created. You can just keep clicking refresh, it will be created shortly. I'm gonna open EC2 instance in another tab. So I'm gonna open EC2 instance, and this is basically the software MySQL Workbench. So you need to download this on the EC2 instance. So on the EC2 instance, we will go onto the EC2 instance. So we need to do two things. So this is the Windows EC2 instance. So we are going to work on Windows. You can connect from Linux as well. Before I can jump onto this, I can go to the security group of this instance. So in here, I'll go to the security group. This is the security group, and I need to go to inbound rules. So first of all, let me go to the security group, and I will go to the inbound rule here, add it, and all you need to do is add a port called MySQL. So I'm gonna go to, this is why I said we don't need to remember the port number. So this is SQL, I need to select MySQL. So here I need to go to MySQL, and port is 3306. So the port is 3306. Here you just need to say anywhere and you can connect. Now so here both incoming and outgoing, so this is port is selected. That's all we need to do, and this is IPv4 and IPv6, both ports are enabled. Though we don't need IPv6, we're not using IPv6 here, but anyways, the port is open. All I need to do, go to the instance, log into the instance, connect to the instance. We need to get the password, we need to get our file, the key pair. So I'm gonna quickly get the key pair file, and that file is basically right here. So I stored it here. So decrypt the password and copy the password and connect to the EC2 instance. Now we have selected we have created a database. We have also created, so EC2 instance I created already before. It's just a Windows instance, and all I need to do is paste the password and log into the instance. Instance is logging in. I'm just waiting for the instance to fully logged in, and then what I'm gonna do, I need to go onto the internet and download that software. But while downloading that software, what else I need to do is I will, so the port is already open. All I need to do is to, first of all, in order to go to the internet, I need to disable the IE enhanced security. If I don't enable the IE enhanced security, then every time when I try to connect to any website, it will give me an error message. So it will keep on just popping up the screen. So what I'm gonna do is, so I'm gonna go to Server Manager, and within Server Manager we are going to disable IE enhanced security, so which is right here in the local, and this is IE enhanced security. So just go here, switch off. So this is switched off, and now I'm gonna open Internet Explorer, and what I need to do is I need to search for MySQL Workbench, and I can go to the site and download this. So this is a software with which you can connect to MySQL or Aurora DB. Both can be connected from here. So it is just 35 MB, and hold on, so I think I selected the wrong one. I'm not down. Okay, it's the both one. I thought that I selected only x86 and not the 64-bit. and in here we can just go to run this download. Okay, it's saying that MySQL Workbench requires a Visual C++ 2019 redistributable package to be installed. Click the download button on the next page. Okay, so here download prerequisites, and on this one I need to download this. Okay, I think I will need to separately download that software. I'll search for the link here. Okay, so one more time, we need to just, so we're looking for Visual C++. Visual C++ download, and it can be downloaded right from here. So, and it's saying, okay, I'm gonna go to the next link, which is, I think it's this, no, not this one. This is complete Visual Studio. We don't need this. We just need the redistributable package. So you need to search for redistributable 64-bit version. So this is exact search that you need to do. And so here, this is the same link though, or maybe this one. So here I'm just looking for the download, and the download is Windows 2019, right? This one. Oh no, not the ad. That's strange. So go down here, it's this one. So once you click, it is downloading this. So I'm gonna pause the video here. So it got downloaded and it is just running now. Setup was successful. So now I'm gonna go back to the MySQL Workbench download. Let's see if it can run now. Yes, it is running now. So all you need to do, just download the Visual Studio plus C++ 2009 redistributable files, and after that the Workbench will be installed. So now this is the last piece. Once it is installed, all we need to do is to complete the connection by connecting to the database. So it is all done. So just a few more minutes with this connection. So here it opens up, and this is Workbench, MySQL Workbench. So on the MySQL Workbench, you need to go to connections, and you need to click plus. Here we will name it so demo MySQL DB01. Here you need the host name, here you need the account, and this is the port number. Now the important thing is the host name. Host name, you are going to get it from the portal. So I'm gonna go back to our portal, which is basically in here. So I'm gonna go back to our portal here. So on the portal, I am going to go to, I need the host name, and host name I can get it from the host name. I'm going to get it from the from the database itself. So here is my database. I am in databases, and within the database you can select the database, and once you're here, this is the endpoint. So endpoint is basically the name, is the name of the database, and this is the port number, and here you can find some other properties as well. So in the configuration you will find all the other things, the master username, and a few other things here about the licensing, about the versions here. So all I need to do is go back to the EC2 instance. Within the EC2 instance, here I need to copy this. So the host name, the root account, and here I need to put the password. So hopefully everything goes well. So we already opened this port, and all I need to do is to test the connection. Connection was successful since it is here EC2 instance and the database is connected. So now this is called a two-tier application. One tier is the EC2 instance where the application is from where we are connecting to the database, and here since it is a database I can go to schemas, and this is our database. Remember demo Pass Institute, and here now you can start creating tables of for however you like it. The name of the table will be student, and the columns, so it is all up to the database team how they want to use this database. So in this video we have seen how to create RDS MySQL database, and how do you connect to a database from a different server. Thank you for watching this video.